Welcome, everyone, to this year's CAS Presentations. This is an event that happens each year in May, in the end of the two-year Creativity, Activity and Circle and Service cycle of the IB students. And for this year, I'm happy to play here. We're not under quarantine, so we can hold the presentations live. We've taken all measures though. You sit on a distance. We're going to have two groups of students presenting. They've divided themselves into two groups, girls and boys. I will leave it to you, but there are going to be projects, there are going to be individual initiatives and also group initiatives that you are going to hear about and see about. Okay.
Okay, the CAS activities should have learning outcomes such as demonstrating engagement with issues of global significance, demonstrating how to initiate and plan a CAS experience, demonstrating that challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process, demonstrating the skills in recognizing the benefits of working collaboratively, identifying own strengths and developing areas for growth, recognizing and considering the ethics of choices and actions, showing commitment to and perseverance in CAS experiences.
Expected from the students are group and individual activities, and group activities are usually proposed by the school, and individual activities are proposed by students, but sometimes can be, like, school can give some examples of what the students can do. And at the end of the experiences, there needs to be reflection, actually at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end if the experience is longer. And there can be either 3 reflections or 1, depends on how long the activity is, like the experience. There also is a CAS project, which is 30 hours long, which is like the longer experience. There's also a portfolio, which is all experiences and evidence gathered, and the introduction about a specific person who's doing the portfolio, and the presentation, which is what we're doing right now.
So now we are starting with the group experiences that we all did together. First is Halloween Party 2019. So we were divided into different groups, and we had to carry out different activities for the little kids. We had this fun activity stall. It was me and Ali. So we had fun bake sale, face painting, fun activities, and costume parade. We worked collaboratively in small groups that had their own separate tasks. And being our second experience in starting doing the IB CAS program, we still didn't know what to expect and how exactly it would work out. But overall, it went quite good. We had a lot of fun working collaboratively and an enjoyable time with the students, like small kids. It was our first time to actually interact with small kids. It was very challenging because some of them were like really moody. So yeah, it was hard to deal with them. Yeah. And these are the learning outcomes. Learning outcomes of organizing the Halloween party demonstrate that challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process, demonstrate the skills and recognize the benefits of working collaboratively, identifying own strengths and develop areas for growth, show commitment to and perseverance in CAS experiences.
Bread making. It was another CAS experience where we were kneading bread in the dark, and we gained knowledge about the people with disabilities such as blindness and experiencing their daily struggles, which inducted open mind. We learned how to replace the ability to see with other senses like touch or hearing.
We were divided into 2 different groups. This was one of our very first CAS experiences, and we were clueless about it. We were given a blindfold and had to use our sense of hearing to follow the instructions in the bread kneading process. We struggled at the beginning, but the visually impaired people guided us and we managed to succeed.
together, demonstrate that challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process, demonstrate the skill and recognize the benefits of working collaboratively, and identifying our strengths and developing areas for growth.
And then again we did Halloween Party 2020. This time we went to the kindergarten because then we were divided again into two groups, one for the main building and one for the kindergarten. We got to celebrate Halloween party at the kindergarten. We did the same thing again, big sale, face painting, activities for kids, hand paintings, and we did this musical chairs thingy with the small kids. And then again we worked collaboratively in a few groups, and we had our own separate classes.
And I was in a group who was doing the face painting, and it was all Halloween theme. And both we and the kids enjoyed the party, and we needed to keep the attention of the kids on us so we can paint on their faces, obviously. And it was difficult, it was a challenge, because they moved a lot because they're kids, right? And we worked with two people. It was Ishao and a girl who's no longer in our classroom, and so that made the face painting faster. Working with kids required a lot of patience from every group's member, and skills like being able to calm them down when needed, because they needed to be interested in the activity that we were doing. It was also important to gain the respect of children in order for them to listen to you, because we needed to talk to them, which developed our communication skills, and like between people of different ages from us. Younger kids also actually had a lot of respect for us, most of them, so it helped us. They actually wanted to work with us, and it made our job easier.
And also, as it was a second time doing this activity, we were more organized, and we knew exactly what to do.
And again, these are the learning outcomes of organizing Halloween party. Demonstrate the challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process, identifying one's strengths and develop areas of growth for growth. Show commitment to and perseverance in CAS experiences.
And we showed commitment because it lasted for a few hours, and we were in a few groups. There was like a few groups of children.
And the barbecue party, firstly, most of students from our class helped with decorating the school building to welcome all the students and the parents. Like we put some balloons on the wall and decorated them with some ribbons. And we once again divided in smaller groups like the bake sale team. The face painting students, like me, I am the one who did the face painting, and the kids come to us and we painted whatever they want to paint on their face. And during the whole experience, everybody from our class had to make sure that all the decorations were in place and the school was relatively clean, which required multi-testing. After the party, we had to clean everything and take all the decorations, which also took time and work. And this is the learning outcome of this activity. Demonstrate the...
You don't necessarily need to read them guys every time. You can.
But like every time it's like different.
Is it different? So if you want to highlight something that was really very relevant to you.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one.
Oh yeah.
So we did also Christmas party last year, 2019.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
For all the COVID situation.
For everything, and again also we had multiple tasks to do. We had also bake sale, painting station, fun activities for kids, and also this time we had sports activities. As I said previously, we improved our organization and planning skills as we planned for a month this activity, and we knew exactly what to do. Also, each group had to take care of few groups of children, as there were many, and we had to be quick in order to
Entertain all
Yeah.
kind of
Guide them through all the
Yeah.
different
all the
smalls.
activities. And for example, some people will take them to the bake sale, then to the next station, which is the painting one, then to the fun activities, and then outside to the sport.
But this time they visited us.
yeah,
It was
it
Yeah,
was
they
at the
came.
main,
They came.
It was
It was
just
in the
here.
main building.
Huge logistic, I can tell you, from kindergarten, and they would come, you have to be on time, back on the bus, another bus coming from the bus. But it was
And also,
time management.
this experience was fun and interesting because we got us as older students got to do this activity for kids, and it was very appreciated by them and by us at the same time. And
You can
you
imagine
can,
like that.
you can see me and the
Pre
teacher
nursery, nursery.
doing the activities here. So here we were having different activities. One of them were
Dancing chair.
musical chairs.
Musical chair.
In grade 11 room.
And in this year each group had to
Guide them around so they don't fall down.
Yeah.
Keep them safe.
and you have to keep them entertained. As you can see, they're dancing.
Only dancing. Okay, so those are some of the pictures from one of our biggest experiences, projects. And it's called Give a Gift to a Child.
Okay, so we contacted two orphanages, one in Novi Sad and one in Montana. We made around 200 backpacks that were filled with necessities for the orphans, such as food, toiletries, clothes, and toys. The backpacks were distributed to Novi Sad and Montana by us. It was a great experience. Seeing those kids happy really warmed our hearts.
Yeah, here you can see us. Well, most of us with the kids in Novi Sad, and here we were preparing the backpacks. Especially
Tamara is especially helping in this picture.
yeah, so
not
we
me.
had to make
Yes,
all
it is.
the
But who
boxes
they
that we
paid?
carried around, we
Yeah,
had to
no,
make
it
them.
was me. Yeah, that is me.
What do we do?
Let's see. And then we, the kids from our school, all of them, all of our kids were donating things that were necessary, and we packed them. Here's what it looked like.
Girls, if you remember, they were all personalized. I think Maggie is here. Maggie, do you remember you were?
Yeah.
Did you guys join the?
Yeah. Yeah, so we didn't we mention that? So we contacted the orphanages and we asked for the kids' names, their needs, and their age group, and everything was personalized.
Yeah, distributed to kids that are same age, similar age here in school, so
Yeah,
they
so
would
for
think
example,
what to
here you
put in
can
the
see it
back.
says 16 years. This from here was all for the 16 years old. Here the 17, 12, 13, 10, and whatever.
Okay, and now it's project, and it's our project. It was from sustainable materials, which is plastic, like plastic bottles. And for us, it was a satisfying activity and a way to relieve stress from the internal assessment, because it also allowed us to do like an interesting task and reuse the plastic in an interesting way, not just throw it away to the trash bin. It was an opportunity for us to use our artistic abilities and create a functional product for the school, as I said. At the same time, helping to reduce plastic waste, which is a global issue. spent 3 months collecting the materials and making the pots, which wasn't really a long time because the materials we could just collect them every single day, basically, with the smaller bottles. We also had a few bigger ones, which took a bit more time because it's like 7 liters of water. So maybe like once a week we got a bigger bottle, and in total we got 34 pots. We had 36, but we lost some on the way to school. And yeah, each pot came from recycled materials, which are plastic bottles.
Girls, what do you plan to do with the pots? You're going to...
Well, actually, we wanted to connect it with the project from the guys, which is compost. And yeah, just, I don't know, put flowers in the picture.
Maybe plant some strawberries
Yeah.
or some plants.
Yeah, and we have balconies in this building, or at least in every room. I can imagine that you could... do we have 34 rooms? I mean, less room.
Probably.
We can leave pots everywhere, or at least something like that, or around the reception area. I don't know. We can make it fence.
Yes, miss.
And right before the CAS presentation, when we came to school, we took a picture because we wanted to take a picture of all of them together. And here's some of them in real life. They're all in the bags there, so yeah. And those are the learning outcomes. Here them. Okay.
So next project is mine. My project was a cookbook, South Asian cuisine, including Afghani and Indian food. I spent my whole summer working on that project. I didn't know how to cook. I was watching some YouTube videos and following the recipes and making some dishes. Some of them were successful, some of them were not.
You didn't burn down the house, right?
Not really.
So
I was
Not really. Some 50-50.
I made in total 17 to 18 dishes, including desserts.
You didn't try
And
any.
it was pretty challenging. As I said, I didn't know how to cook at all. I learned new skills throughout the project. After cooking, I struggled in the editing part when I was making a cookbook, electronically, which was challenging for me. But then at the end, I was pretty happy with what I received. I mean, what I achieved. And yeah, and here's the evidence of me cooking. And I can't really show you my, I can, but I don't have it here, Miss Mike.
Short videos, right? Because you
Yeah,
recorded.
but I didn't put them.
So you'll prepare some.
Okay.
I can
hold
put
it
it
out.
on.
Okay, so that's my project. I made a pallet garden furniture. It took me 2 months to do it. For me, it was unique and interesting because I also wanted to develop myself. And so this idea came when I went once with my dog outside and I saw the furniture in the in the yard. And so I decided to recycle them, and I had to paint, here you can see me, I had to clean them.
The pallets.
Yeah, the pallets, because they were very dirty. Okay. Pallets at home. Yeah. And first I had to clean them. And then it took me a while because they were very dirty. But at the end, it was. It was very, I made it. Okay.
Need to say more?
Yeah. It was also an opportunity for me to, as I said, to see my artistic side of me and to create such a big project, functional by the whole embassy. As we gather, it's summer nights, we gather and we drink a couple of tea and with some fruits, vegetables. So in total, I created 10 seats made out of 5 pallets and 1 table coffee. The biggest challenge best thing was that I had to check each palette if it's corresponding to each other palette in order to make the sofa, because some of them I couldn't connect them and I had to measure everything. And also before I can see I painted with light color, but then I had to change it because it was ugly. So I don't think it was really challenging, but really at the same time. And I'm very happy and proud with what I achieved. Change this here. Aww, nice. Did you make the pillows too? I got it.
Yeah.
And here's the learning outcomes.
Okay, so basically what my project was with Nikki. Classmate and I, Nikki, decided to start a debate club for the grade 7s at the time. A project, and we went once a week, but eventually more students wanted to join, so more grades, and it became a great success. Debate club made me become a better communicator, thinker, and I became more reflective. Nikki and I really enjoyed debate club because we worked well as a team, and we were good friends, which made each debate fun. We prepared the students for the Scholars Cup in order for them to be more confident in their speaking as well.
I think Maggie was in that grade, right?
Yeah.
Sharing.
Still is.
Still is.
And that's me and Nikki.
That was last year?
Last year.
Okay.
We started.
So here's my project. I created a video with all of the sightseeing places, interesting places in Sofia. And it's connected to the Erasmus Plus project, which is a project in the fields of education, training, youth and sports. For the purpose of creating this video, I had to go around Sofia and take photos of popular sightseeing, places that would be interesting for the international students to visit when they come to Sofia. And I had to add all the pictures together with information about the places and made them into a video. Here's what it looks like.
Just short.
Not with me.
No.
Not with me.
Individual
experiences. Okay, so mine first, and it was helping in the dog hostel. And I moved to a town where there was a dog hostel that I volunteered to help in. And I went there for 10 days. It was 3 hours away from Warsaw, where is my house in Poland. And yeah, basically, and I worked there, volunteered, right? So it was like an actual job, but for 14 hours a day. Average, and yeah, mostly just helping the people who were working in the hostel with stuff like feeding the animals, playing with them, brushing their fur, going for walks, and making sure they're healthy. Also, one of my goals was also to improve my communication skills by spending time with the new workers and the volunteers. And informing them and just communicating about every issue and whatever was done that day and everything. I have learned about the difficulties connected to taking care of so many animals and plants, where accidents happen on a daily basis, and about having a business at this time, because almost maybe every other day. There was a case where a dog had to go to a vet because, for example, fights for the food or something like that, because obviously there were dogs that came from the street, so, they're fighting with each other sometimes, and it's hard to keep track of that sometimes. And the learning outcomes.
So mine is teaching children to draw, because of the coronavirus, the children that in the embassy and I are not allowed to go out. And I organized a drawing class to teach the children in the embassy to paint every week. And we draw twice a week, each time for 2 to 3 hours. So my goal is to make children become creative and improve my communication skills. I learned to be more patient and careful with children, and in the process of teaching. I got some new knowledge and idea from the children and the learning outcome.
So in February, when we had our city week, I didn't have anything to do. So I got a chance to do some online courses from LinkedIn Learning. I spent 2 to 3 hours per day for at least 8 days. I did that. My goal was to actually achieve the courses needed for my favorite subjects, for example, business. I learned how to develop new skills. For example, how to manage my time limit when I'm working collaboratively, and it was an amazing experience overall. And here is the evidence that they sent, like the certificate of completion. I was actually watching the courses for 2 hours or 3 hours, and then they used to send me quizzes and small tests that I used to do, and then they send me these certificates of completion after passing the tests. Or, yeah. Okay, so
Wait for us.
So, for activity, I did tennis. Having a court at home, I decided to start playing tennis in May. In order to stay active during quarantine time, I started playing 3 times per week. And my goal was to lose some weight.
It's not here.
Yeah, it's not here, but okay. Also, I wanted to get familiar with the rules in the sport because I didn't know at all how to play tennis. So seeing the court outside, I was like, okay, let me try this. So I started playing and practice the game. And my goal was to get familiar with the sport. Also, it was interesting for me. And my biggest challenge that I faced was that I didn't know anything about tennis and how to play it and its rules. Oh, and here are the learning outcomes.
Okay, what was the other one? Okay, guys. Okay, during the first lockdown, I decided to start yoga to improve my flexibility and overall stay fit. I started doing it by myself, and eventually I did online with my old yoga teacher in South Africa. So I've been doing yoga now for the past 2 years, and I've noticed that it was videos, just. Yeah. I've noticed that it benefited me mentally and physically. Not only did I do yoga, but started going regularly to the gym. Yoga really motivates me to become healthy and stronger. It was a great experience, and I'm glad I had this opportunity.
So, same as Diana, during the lockdown, I had to do something like to keep me active. So I started working out at home. Then I went to the gym a few times. And I was busy with schoolwork and also with my family. We went hiking many times during the lockdown and in summer as well and during this winter too. And it was a great experience.
Oh yeah. So we have also a group activity.
yeah, something that we did like 2 people together.
Yeah.
So we went to the kindergarten and okay, you speak.
Okay, so every Friday we went to kindergarten starting from 8:30 to 10:50. We used to have different activities. It depended on the teacher, like what teachers wanted to do on that specific day. And they were asking us if we can like take care of the kids, prepare some activities with them. We were also like putting them to sleep. We don't have teachers here. We were
At 10:15.
no, at lunch. Yeah. Yeah.
Beds there, can you see?
And we were giving us books to read, and they were like very interesting to
Like they were very interesting for us.
We were going to prepare a lesson for them, but because of
We had another
COVID,
pandemic.
yeah, and then it got cancelled.
So you were
So,
just
yeah, so we grew up as individuals, and this experience gave us an opportunity to improve our communication skills.
And dealing with it.
Yeah, and be patient with them. Here you can see we were reading to them. And here you can see me.
Oh, that's
cutting.
all. Yeah, we were preparing here like a lesson for them, like,
We were cutting shapes for math.
and that's it.
Okay, and here the learning outcomes.
Okay, and the next one is ours, and it's similar to what I did by myself, but this time it's a shelter, and I didn't stay there. So every week on Saturday, we spent 2-3 hours walking the dogs from a shelter. It was outside of Sofia, and we just drive there every Saturday.
We need to follow the rules introduced to us for our and the dog safety. Like the rules include like different, because all the dogs are in the different cages, and the dog from different cages can be too close to each other, and during the work we can't like change dogs.
We had to change it like every 20 minutes to allow all the dogs to be walked. Because there's a lot of dogs in the shelter, and every dog wants to go outside of the cage for some time during the day. The challenges we faced was convincing our parents to drive us there, because they didn't want to do that, because it was far away. It was like a whole trip. Yeah.
Diana and I helped, we joined the art club, which was introduced in the beginning of this year. And we helped Miss Diana in making various decorations for different holidays, such as Valentine's Day, Easter, Baba Marte, Christmas, and Halloween.
Christina and I learned new skills in art, we were collaborative, and overall we worked well together as a team to make sure we completed all the decorations.
So also this unfortunately didn't last
Yeah,
long because
during another pandemic, and
Yeah,
some of
because
the events were cancelled.
Conclusion. Each one of us participated in different activities, and it was all fun for us. We went through different challenges, each one of us. We learned new skills,
And we developed ourselves, and
We matured through the CAS program and were able to enjoy.
and be more organized when working collaboratively.
Yeah, and the advice for the 11th graders is to use this opportunity to develop your talent and challenge yourself at the same time with different activities. So, yeah, and that's the end.
where's the time?
So, hi everyone. I'm not going to introduce the CAS program again. The girls did a lovely job of introducing the whole idea of what CAS is. But basically, yeah, it's this program that attempts to challenge you and for you to experience new things that you have never tried before, and at the same time master something that you think you're good at and you have an opportunity to get even better at. So, this is a list of experiences the whole grade 12 did. I'm not going to read through all of them, obviously, but some examples are for creativity, chess club, debating club, poster making, for activity we have like swimming, basketball, hiking, skiing, and then for service we have the Halloween parties, peer tutoring, giving a gift to a child initiative, and many others.
And like a lot of the things will overlap, especially with the other group, because pretty much all the school-based projects we did all together as a class, so we won't go too much in detail, but you'll see a lot of familiar things.
You start?
Yeah, so for creativity, it was just me.
Yeah.
So we decided to do some creative writing. This was after, I don't know if you guys participated in it. Miss Naomi encouraged us to try a poem for this competition.
Connections.
Yeah, Connections. And then we both found it really fun and needed creativity hours, so we decided to try our hand at creative writing. And I think it went really well. I found it really fun and enjoyable, and it was also a way to sort of improve on literature at school, because what better way to practice literature than make literature. So in general, I think it went really well, and it was quite rewarding to do this.
No. Well, the Java Academy. This is just basically a course I signed up for where I studied coding, mainly Java, but I also studied other languages. And well, basically there were 70 different lectures. There were 2 lectures per week, and each lecture was roughly 3 to 4 hours. And I'll have additional assignments after each lecture, which I had to complete. And I would say that this was the experience that had the greatest impact on me, because it made me realize that I want to pursue a career which was related to coding. And at the same time, I would say it was also one of the most challenging ones, because of the amount of time it took from my free time. And there were times where I had to choose between doing schoolwork or just doing the assignments from the Java Academy. And well, those are just some of the many different projects I made. And that's pretty much it.
So another big event that we had headed into, unfortunately it no longer exists because it's bankrupt.
It's turning back. It's coming up, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool then.
Also,
But
next
basically, in the beginning year of 2020, in January, all of us on stage, we attended the World Scholars Cup, and all of the teams on the stage, we qualified to the next round as well. But basically, the World Scholars Cup is this event that has 4 different main events, and you kind of, as a team, enter each one. Some are team-based events, like for example the team debates, which I'll also get into later. But a big aspect of the World Scholars Cup was the debating. It's probably the one they focus most on. And it's basically you get the topic, and on the spot you have only about 5 to 10 minutes to prepare for it, and you just start speaking and attempt, obviously, to win. And also there is aspect of creative writing, which you can see here. We had the creative writing stages. So someone was overjoyed with this creative writing for some reason. But yeah, so you have an hour and a half. You get given a topic, and you have to write anything you want. It can be a diary entry, it can be a story. And this is from where George, kind of wanted to start. We got intrigued by it, and then with all the school projects and the school projects that we had with the connections, it just all kind of made sense together, and we just continued to develop more.
Okay, so I think they already mentioned it before, the Bread in the Dark project. Basically, okay, so basically we went to this sort of house, this bread house, where we were like led by visually impaired bread makers, and where they helped us to make bread in the dark. So I think they already mentioned it before. It was very fun to do. They were extremely kind, so they were like able to guide us very easily, and yeah, it was successful, I guess.
Here's on fleek.
So another one of the clubs, which I don't know how many of you entered in, was the First Aid Club. Me and Krishna and Tukrim were in it. It was, I don't know, I found it a really great experience because sure we learn about most of the stuff they taught in science, but I feel like what was special about this is that it's from a different perspective. You sort of see things in a different way, so it's really like helps you be more open-minded, and this was also definitely one of the most impactful creativity experiences I had.
Yeah, so in this first aid we did like several different activities related to medicine. Obviously, for example, here you can see me filling up a syringe. It's obviously water because we're not salt water, because we were not obviously trained to do actual injections. And here, as you can see, it's just this tube that's used to represent the arteries, so the doctor is actually doing it. And that's a similar picture with other kids.
So, starting in the summer of 2019, I started participating in a program called Hands of Peace. It was a dialogue-based program, which included delegations from the United States, Palestinians, and the Israelis, who all came together and met in Chicago. and we had daily dialogues about different topics, mainly surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And it was a real eye-opening experience for me and for everybody else involved in the program, as it was like the first time kids get like engaged in like discussions about such a sensitive topic, and it creates a very welcoming environment as everybody is open-minded and just is there to just become more knowledgeable and understand the perspectives of other people.
So photography. The story is that at the beginning of year, me and Christian decided to do some photography, but like most of us know that he's a busy person, has a lot of stuff to do. That's why I was doing the photography hours for my creativity alone. I always enjoyed taking pictures on my phone, take pictures of nature. But I decided to learn how to take pictures of the apartments and the cars. Basically, this apartment is going to rent right now, and I was hired to do some pictures. And this is my car. I mean, I like the picture. I bought a camera. I was taking pictures on my iPhone for my whole life, but I decided to buy a professional camera to improve my skills, to have a camera to go out with my camera like my friends sometimes to enjoy it. I don't know. So yeah, that's what basically. I spent a lot of time doing stuff.
And then obviously this was my personal project, but I was also part of another big project which we'll talk about later. But my project was a debating club, which Diane already mentioned. It was me and her that took part. Initially we started with the grade 7s, and my inspiration actually did start from the Wood Scholars Cup. I'd never been to one before. It was my first time, and I loved the debating aspect of it. I loved the whole team environment. And the CAS program is a great example of what you're allowed to do. For example, with the debating club, I'll just briefly say, before I actually started doing debating, I was actually kind of afraid to speak in front of an audience. Like quite often I got stage fright. But now it's actually led to me being able to lead a debating club, which is exactly about being able to speak in front of people. So it's just this lovely and an awesome opportunity for you to get out of your comfort zone, try something creative and new, and it just is overall as a whole new thing. Initially it started only being once a week, but due to the amount of people that were interested and the amount of success the current kids we had in the group actually had and enjoyed the club, it started being a more profound thing. So we now have it almost 3 times a week, sometimes 2 times a week, and we get people from all the grades, so it's pretty amazing how big of a thing it actually turned out to be.
Okay, so next we have activities.
So we started last year. We formed a basketball team in our school because previously there was none, and we had 2 matches against AES and St. George. Some of them better, some of them worse. And
one success and one,
One not so big a success.
And mainly,
We played against AES
yeah,
and
we
St.
did.
George.
And then the COVID came, so it kind of hindered our team aspirations. But some of us still managed to just play on our own time outside of school, and these are just some images of that. And basketball for us, it's a cool sport because firstly it's a team sport, so you interact constantly with individuals, and then it's also very demanding physically, so it's an overall good sport.
Also, when you play basketball, you can't just play to yourself. You got to communicate with your teammates. So obviously, you have to get into their sort of rhythm or their vibe, so that you can actually play with them properly, so you can succeed. So I feel like one of the major attributes we developed here was communication.
And just as a kind of a follow-up to what they were saying, we've all been playing basketball for quite some time, and we all just enjoyed it. And it's amazing because obviously the 3 of us are from completely different backgrounds, and basketball is kind of like this universal language that connects us into playing together. And this is kind of what to link up what you were saying, is that it increases your communication, increases your teamwork, because you actually have to, in order to win the game, you cannot win it alone. I mean, there's no team that ever did good on their own. So we had to learn how to communicate better in order to get the best possible result at the end of the day.
So here you see a video of me doing a nice side step. And
Please don't show it.
yeah, please show it. Actually, hard work was put into that video. Surprisingly, only one shot. That's all.
It was 100
that-
takes.
One take. Only one take.
Go next. Can we stop showing it? We don't need to show it twice.
Looks clean, by the way.
Ah, it's okay. Okay.
Then also skiing. So obviously coming from Israel, there is no such a thing. It's kind of hot there.
No snow.
No snow. I mean, rarely snow. And so here, that's me with my sister, and we went skiing. We went to the summit of Bansk over there, and I mean, when I got there, it made me rethink my choices. But it was nice. It was I mean, although it's a quite extreme sport, especially when you do not know what you're doing, so you're just like sliding. And overall, though, I did not get injured, and it was a success.
Because the IB is very, as I'm sure you guys have found by now, it's very stressful and there's a lot of work that you have to do. And some of us, you know, we just kind of had wanted to do something to relieve our stress. Almost all of us on stage started doing some home or gym workouts or something like that. And yeah, it's a great thing. It allows for you to kind of just get out and to exercise or whatever. And yeah, that's all.
Well, together, well, not together with more, but we both went swimming individually. And we all had different goals, which we aimed to achieve. For example, one of my goals was to swim 400 meters in under 6 minutes and 20 seconds. I wasn't really able to achieve it, but I was close to it. And well, this experience kind of showed me that you really need to persevere in order to achieve what you wanted to. And here you can just enjoy my 2 medals from a swimming competition.
Yes.
Oh, and hiking. Well, most of us went hiking at a certain point in those 2 years, and we all had the common goal of, well, it kind of sounds trivial, but we all just wanted to relax. But that's also important given all the assignments, all the stress, and all the tests in the IB. And it also links to one of the attributes of the IB learner profile, which is to be balanced. In other words, to reach an equilibrium between your mental and physical state.
Do you want to add something?
No,
I mean, I always had a space for sports in my life, and I was doing martial arts for many years. But at one point I stopped because of my back. I broke it. So in the beginning of IB, I started Thai boxing when I went to Thailand, and I'm doing it till now, and it became my patients. All of these people are my friends, and we're a big team. I train in a big club, basically. Also, I mean, I'm going to the gym like basically not every day, but every 2 days. For the past month, I decided to change my program, and I started the CrossFit instead of like some weightlifting and stuff. So yeah, that's basically all.
Okay, and then we have the service section. Can you go to the next slide? So one of the big initiatives, which the girls again mentioned, is giving a gift to a child, and this is just a few pictures of us helping, especially Tamar, who's just lovely support. He contributed to the entire project. He was outstanding. Moral support. He was there for the moral support. No, but it's a lovely opportunity. Not everyone got a chance to go to Novihan. It was a very big group, but not everyone got a chance from our grade. But from Montana, it was especially limited group. We only sent 4 people there. From our class, and Montana, where did you go with more than 4 people?
Me, you, and Salah.
In this board, where you call
And
the
sorry,
third?
not the class.
Okay, 4 of us, including this board. Yeah, but basically it was a great initiative. It was something completely new for all of us, and we all wanted to contribute. You know, Christmas is obviously an important time to spend with your family, and some of these kids didn't really have access to any gifts or something, and we wanted just to make their Christmas a better the Christmas for this particular year a better time when they had some extra gifts or things that they really needed and they couldn't be provided for by the orphanages. It was overall a very rewarding experience, and the kids and the people of the orphanage who worked there, it was quite amazing to have a conversation with them and understand their perspective of how they see it benefiting the children.
So, Chrissy mentioned this as well. Me, Chrissy, and people who are not with us anymore went to the International Women's Day Bazaar, which every year around Christmas there's this charity bazaar, and then all the proceeds made there go to the to a charity, obviously, and then we volunteered to help at the British stand. Miss Naomi sort of connected us in this way, and I know I found it quite challenging because at school you do sell things, but here there was way more people and it was for a much longer time, so it was really quite, like, it helped with the learning perseverance and staying on track.
Well, we also helped organize the Halloween party in 2019, which was also the first event we actually organized. So I could safely say that this was probably one of the most impactful events for all of us, because it just showed us how exactly to organize things and what to expect. And it also taught us to remain calm, even if things don't always go the way we planned them to, because we had some slip-ups.
Mini disasters. Mini disasters. But it was a good experience to test our thinking on the spot, and now that, obviously this was our first event, but now that for other events that we had to host, we were much better organized. But this event kind of taught us how to react on the moment. When a mistake happens or a problem occurs, how to actually fix it, and kind of don't let other people see the impact this particular problem may have had on your overall organization.
Well, peer tutoring. During the pandemic, some of the teachers requested that we would help some of the students with certain classes. And for example, I taught business studies, and it just consisted of me going over the business studies book and making presentations about the content and then presenting it to my students. It was a rather challenging job because I not only had to understand the content there, but I also had to teach it in a well-spoken way that would enable my students to actually learn the things. And I'm sure it opened the eyes of everyone who peer tutored about how difficult it is to actually be a teacher and how much responsibilities teachers have.
Okay. I also peer tutored over the past couple of weeks. There's this new Israeli family that are now my neighbors. They came from the US, so the kids they're like second grade or something, and their Hebrew is lacking. So I decided that I would definitely help them out, and I taught them some conjugations, like verbs in Hebrew, in the different tenses, and how to read, because as you can see, it's like the language is quite different than the other, like than English, for example. So it was super challenging for them, also for me, because I needed a lot of patience when like engaging with them. But overall, their Hebrew definitely got like better, and also my teaching skills are now better.
And I did a little bit of peer tutoring as well. It wasn't within school, mine was outside of school. We had a close family friend who was going into their grade 7 examinations in Bulgarian schools, and one of them was English. And she was struggling a lot with understanding, for example, things like active versus the passive voice, when to use which one, the different tenses and types of conjugation. So I was helping with English.
And I did the same as Miko, but in math.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice grade.
Basically, I did the same as guys, but in sports. So I have a friend who made. I mean, all of you know him. It's Stepan, and he wasn't interested in sports at all. I mean, he's playing computer and he's doing some other stuff in his life. And I really wanted to motivate him doing something. And throughout our friendship, like throughout these 2 years, I was motivating him every day to do something, and finally, it worked for him. And like 2 months ago, he started training with me. I built him a diet. So he has nice nutrition. He's training every day. He runs. He's doing some activities, some boxing, and he became happy. He has more free time. He stopped playing computer. So yeah. Yeah. Also, one more thing. People who knows me, I don't know if you knows me, but
All of us know you, Danny.
Yeah.
anyway, it's fine. I like animals. I like dogs. I like cats. I mean, but I just love them. The background story here is that I have a dog, but she decided to move to Switzerland to live with my grandparents, and I feel lonely. Since September 2020, I started to feed homeless animals with my friends, with my family alone, near my house. Basically, we organized a trip. We took my car and we went on a trip around villages around Sofia, around Bulgaria. Even like a couple of days ago, we went to the sea. We found like 10 homeless dogs and we were feeding them every day. So it was kind of fun. We had a lot of emotions, and I don't know. Dogs made me smile, so I was happy.
Okay, so this is our main project.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this is not my project, but it kind of counts as my second project. I basically did two big projects, and this one was the Global Social Leaders Competition project, which, go to the next slide, was basically, we had to choose one of these global issues, and we had to, at least one, and we had to address it with a certain project that we aimed to kind of resolve this global issue. And as the girls mentioned, this thingy with what Zuza and Nisha were doing with the plots, our project was in fact to create compost, and compost is basically this biodegradable soil, which is like healthier for plants to use. So sorry, it's made of biodegradable products, and it's much healthier for plants to use. Go next. Okay, so basically we had to start with the very beginning of the process, which it kind of starts from here, which is the digging up of the ground which we wanted to plant the plants in. Then we actually had the big compost bin where we started to fill things, and this is George and Krishna filling it with different things. And then this is the end result of Itamar, like watering the little plants, and you can see this little, thingy that's sticking out of the ground is the tomato. And this is me being intrigued but truly disappointed with my friend. So basically, this is kind of a weird picture. I don't know who chose it, but it's a video. It's part of the video, and basically this is the big compost bin that we created. So at this stage, obviously it doesn't look like much, but
this is the practice we had before the
very big compost,
one you saw before.
Yeah.
Just to test out if it would work at all.
It did not work.
No, I think it was okay, but then it got
worked,
thrown
but
away.
there was an accident.
it got thrown away.
It was
An
thrown
accident
away
on
during
purpose.
lockdown. The bodyguards didn't know what to do with that, and they decided to throw it away. It was starting to get that. It was really very disappointing in this respect. But it was starting to get that masa, and it was not even stinky. I mean, it was still.
Yeah, it was actually starting to
Yeah, it
get
was
good, but they
doing
threw it away, so it was disappointing.
One of the big ideas behind this project was also to like link it to others. So for example, with the like tomato plants, that was the second graders or something.
Third grade, first graders. They study nature and plants in the end of the first year, and they need to plant also in the end of the first year. So look, this was the
So we thought it'd be a good idea to sort of join our two projects, and then when Zuza came on with her project with the pots, we also thought we could join that and let's sort of all together have a one bigger project, although didn't really work out in the end, but it's still possible to do it, and for ventilation reasons we didn't bring in compost. But the bin is still there. If you go to the old building, it's there, it's happy, it's healthy. And then
So basically here is how the compost looks in the beginning. Like you need things like fruit peels, you can see a banana peel there somewhere. And then you can see leaves, dried leaves, and then other vegetable peels present inside, and they're like turned, like mixed with soil, which is the brown thing present there. So this is how it is in the beginning, but if you keep turning it for like 2-3 months, it'll become like actual compost.
And then we kind of did it in reverse order, but this was like our presentation where we kind of introduced our project to the kids. And at this time we found out about their project, so this was kind of the time where we decided to link the two projects into one big one. You want to say something?
So now I'm going to talk about my project. I started this project in school to help us students to relax a bit. We were supposed to have it on Thursday, on Thursdays once a week. It didn't work for us because of the COVID restrictions, and they closed the school. And I wasn't able to do it online because you cannot do it online. You have to be physically present to do it. So as my friends and my family member is training ice skating, I went to the training, the head ice skating trainer, and I asked to work with the kids. The thing is that I'm pretty antisocial and I'm scared to talk to people, and now I'm a bit stressed, if you can hear it. And I was working with a big group of people, like 20, 25, 30 kids sometimes. All these kids are beginners or professionals in ice skating, and they're working hard, they have hard school days, and I was coming to their trainings twice a week on Mondays and Fridays to relax their minds, to relax their bodies. Also we were doing a bit of yoga, a bit of relaxing, and I really enjoyed it because I made a lot of friends there. All of these kids knows me, I know their parents, and also had an experience of showing my mates some special Thai things. I know I play special Thai instrument, so I was teaching them how to play it. And it also counts like meditation because they relax their minds. That's all it is.
And that's everything.
So did you guys also have a feeling you were maturing and growing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the girls, this was their reflection in the end. Yes, thank you for the long, detailed, let's say, presentations. It was nice to see. It was an overview. There are many things going on when it comes to series of experiences, so not everything was mapped, but I think not everything was mapped in detail, but everything was presented basically mapped. And it was challenging. Last year when they said they would close, and they closed it, all countries, our country as well, schools, it was challenging to do CAS. But I'm happy that most of you started figuring out how to utilize your CAS time and how to use your homes basically best way, and then your environment, like direct environment. Because at that time we couldn't even help people outside our homes. Remember, it was like March and April, so you couldn't really go and buy groceries for your neighbors and so on. We were really locked at some point. But then ideas like the yoga club and the cooking book started, and there was somebody who wanted to work on saving energy at home while staying there and learning, studying, working all day. I don't know how far this person came. So this was the other challenge. Now we can use, we do know that we can use the online space much more. We can contact also other schools, like for this upcoming project that Fadi and Joshua have for the Model UN. I really think that we should search for another partner and see if we can even do something like that online as well, like get people from outside to join us. So we learned also from that, from the lockdown, from the different ways we needed to do CAS then. But indeed, Dani, physically present is probably the best thing we can have for group activities, like the clubs, and debating, and and meditation, and so on.